Hello, Battle Buddies Nation! Kevin here. I'm just setting a little context for today's interview. Today's interview is with Spencer's good friend from his enlisted Marine days, Naj, or as his artist name is now, King Naj. Go check him out on Spotify. He's pretty awesome. Yeah, a little bit of trigger warning for today. They're going to get into it. They're going to talk about like drinking and driving. They're going to talk about drug use. They're going to talk about some of the kind of unflattering sides of being a serviceman and what it means to serve your country and the realities of that. If that's not something you're interested in, like check out another episode, maybe come back to this. But this is something that Spencer and I had talked about when we first started the podcast. Spencer has been really passionate about wanting to share his experiences authentically. Because of that, I'm not going to cut any of this interview. I'm not going to put music or like trim anything. I'm just going to let it play through so that you can get kind of like an unfiltered conversation between largely just Spencer and Naj, kind of coming to terms with what happened and the good and the bad and the friendships and the drama. And I think it's really interesting. There's a lot to unpack from it. I'd like to hear what you guys all think. Anyway, thank you for supporting us like always. We have 2 series coming up back to back. They're both awesome. Spencer and I are pretty stoked about it. The first one should be coming out like next week or so be on the lookout for that. As you can tell, we just got a dope camera today. Thanks, Spencer, for making that happen for us. And I was working on the lighting. I think everything looks pretty good. So yeah, high quality stuff coming your way. Anyway, I'm going to keep talking because I like when the drums kind of cut me off. It goes do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
The harder the conflict, the greater the triumph.
A fiercest serpent may be overcome by a swarm of ants.
Lead me, follow me, or get out of my way. Age wrinkles the body, quitting wrinkles the soul.
Record this.
Battle buddies.
Let's just get into it, dude. Let's jump right in. Let's do it live, bro.
Why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to probably the most special episode of Battle Buddies to date, where we have a man who has been wonderfully and beautifully discharged from the Marine Corps to only go off and become an amazing musician. My friend, whom I've only been heard call Browman 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. Browman, get over here. Browman. But Mr. Naj, King Naj, dude, is that what what you go by nowadays?
King Naj, man. That's what I'm going by now. I only hear Browman in my nightmares.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Fucking Browman. Browman, get over here right now.
You know what I want you to do? You know what
Browman, first sergeant's looking for you, but I'm in Arizona.
So let's get into this, dude. This is how I want this conversation to start, dude. Can you for the world explain what a safety brief is on a Friday?
It is the most no duh meetings you ever be a part of. It's like it's like a joke. It's like, here, we're gonna tell you all what you guys should not do, but we know you're gonna do them anyway.
Yep.
And we can't wait to see you on Monday.
Yes.
Monday morning.
Yep. Don't drive.
Yeah, don't drink and drive. Don't beat your wife. Don't beat your wife.
No, that's a thing. That is a thing that they would remind us not to do, is beat your wife.
Wait, they said don't wear condoms?
No, wear a condom.
Wear a condom.
Did I say don't?
Wear a condom. Please wear a condom.
And a lot of don'ts. Wait,
Oops.
They had to say don't beat your wives?
Oh, you betcha.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, just for posterity.
Yeah, 1st Intel Battalion was real keen on the drinking and driving and beating their wives.
Great. It's a great legacy.
Dude, how did you what was the straw that broke the camel's back for getting you kicked out of the good old fashioned Marine Corps? Speaking of drinking and driving.
All right. So let's break down the story, man. So it is February of 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this day because it is a great day.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Ravens won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Against who?
Against the 49ers, baby. So I'm in a house at a person who will not be named house. Watching the game. I'm the only Ravens fan in there. And a lot of things happen in the Super Bowl. The lights get turned out. Beyonce pulls off from a crazy Super Bowl show, and I am getting wasted in all of that glory. And then the clock strikes 0, the Ravens win, and everybody's celebrating, everybody's drinking, and I'm maybe or may not be drinking and flirting with a girl at the same time.
Are you on?
I leave.
Are you on base when this is happening?
I'm on base when this is happening.
Okay.
So I'm driving. I remember because I see a guy who will not be named. He's like, "Yo, now you about to leave?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm straight." As I'm peeing into a bush.
Oh.
So I do that. I run to my Chevy HHR that we affectionately called Nikki.
I remember.
So yeah, I get in my car and I'm driving down that fucking long ass road and I'm listening to Jeezy right now. And I remember this like it's yesterday. I'm slowing down at the light where we get ready to turn off to I think Vandergrift or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the McDonald's. I'm like, a McDouble sounds great. I see the light. McDouble sounds amazing with some fries right now and a very strong Coke.
Yeah.
So I slow down, hit the light, pop that bitch. Next thing I know, I swerve in and I hear root root. I'm like, what the fuck?
Rest is
They said I jumped the curb.
Oh no.
There was no curb.
Okay.
I took pictures of this and went to the like they said I jumped the curb. I did not.
What did you blow, dude?
Did I refuse to blow?
He doesn't remember.
I do not remember what I blew.
All right.
But I do remember me doing the exercises and everything, doing the, look like Daniel San and shit.
Yeah.
And
did you have
I feel like they only said I failed because like I just felt embarrassed the whole time doing it.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, yo, I'm so drunk and I'm like, yo, this is so embarrassing and it's cold.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very vulnerable experience.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So they call the officer on duty, which was my boss at the time. Cool. Shout out to Brian Verdugo. He out. So I can shout him out in this. He picked me up and he was just I remember he picked me up and we drove to the and we parked and he was just like, bro, the one thing they said.
And you fucked it up.
And I was like, all right. I was like, yo, this is stupid.
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, this whole situation is dumb, yo.
Oh yes, as most of them were. Man, hearing your voice is making me feel like I'm back there right now. Dude, how much did that experience follow you into civilian life? May I ask?
Not far.
Okay. That's great.
once you drove off the gate, it was just like DUI. What?
Okay, that's good.
What DUI?
That makes me
happy. DUI on base, baby.
Okay. Dude,
also, just to show how fucking Camp Pendleton security is fucking zero to nilch, I moved back like maybe like 3-4 months later, and I drove back on base like maybe 4 or 5 times, showing my license and everything.
Like, yep.
Man. Good job. Good job, police.
Yeah, the military police. Thank you so much for your service.
Yeah, man. But like you said, lots of great times.
Yeah, no, there was definitely some laughs along the way, as Mike Wazowski once said.
Yeah, man.
Dude, tell us like your journey. Like, so you get out of the military, right?
Right.
And then basically, do you just fall straight into music? And like, where did you go? And like, kind of just take us on your little journey, dude.
Well, let's talk about like I guess maybe 6 months before all of that shit happens, man. Like I was alone.
Okay.
And like yeah, this is like pretty much you had dipped out.
I
So
did. I did.
yeah, so it was just like, all right, so like my only friend and like my only like type of sense of normalcy in this whole schmigamarow that we call, the military,
Yeah.
is gone.
Yeah.
Like my one ally, the one person who'll tell me the truth about myself, the one person who'll just tell me the truth, period, is gone. And so like afterwards, you kind of like just kind of do like a whole bunch of soul searching. But for me, like I was never a person who will always be like on base anyway. Like I was always off base.
Totally.
So if a lot of my trouble that the military would say was like, he wasn't a bad Marine. It's just like the shit I would do off base.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just got a lot of my, and it wasn't even like trouble. It was just like dumb shit. Like it would just happen off base.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually after like Spencer left, I just kind of just stayed off base after that and just kind of like, he knew like the people who I was, who I was hanging out with and dating at the time, I was in there, baby. I was like in the hood. I was, I've had Spencer several things like, dude, like, should I be? Yeah, man, with me.
Yeah, but dude, there was times where like you and I would hang out at, certain apartment complexes and you definitely always told me, bro, you're like, bro, one of the things that I appreciate about you is that I can bring you places and you're not going to be like a very awkward white person.
Yeah. If I'm gonna bring him in a situation where it's gonna be like, maybe a lot of bloods and stuff in there, or I might bring him to a club, where that I have. Hey, that's us, this skinny white guy, right quick.
You had told me a story about one of our buddies who had gotten married and he was kind of a dork. He was a topo Marine.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that you like brought him to like the recording studio and he was like trying to show German rap and then he ended up kind of like crying and getting drunk and all of you and your buddies were like, this is awkward. You're like, yo, bro, you keep doing that?
Yeah, man. Like, and Spencer was always that like one guy who I could just bring. Like, that was like the solid like dude who you could just bring in. Like, because like I said, like I was off base a lot. So if I was hanging out with Spence, he was coming with me, and we'd be like in the hood and Vista, deep hood, chilling. And he be in there like cracking jokes and everybody asking for Spencer dollars.
Yeah.
But for real, like after he left, man, I just kind of I went out there and like never really came myself, like never really came back, a lot of drinking, and just whatever, I really didn't care at one point, just my boy gone, my brother's gone. And whatever I do now is just simply be not getting caught, So basically like my North Star was gone because me and Spence, we did everything together. We started things together, we quit things together. Then after he was gone, it was just like, just grasping, certain friend groups that I had on base. But initially, like, that wasn't me. I wasn't an on base dude. Who's gonna wear like my fucking Mac Big Mac belt, and shit. And like hang out in the little cookout areas and shit. I mean, I did throw some excellent parties when I wanted to, but I wasn't just gonna do that all the time. I was like, yo, that's fucking crazy. Like, I can't do that. There's gold out in them hills. There's bitches out there.
Gold out in them hills. Yes, sir.
Like, let's go out there and do something. But after I got caught up with the whole DUI, did he do it? Did he not? I was just like, all right, I was done. I was done, checked out. But when my mom had a heart attack and they wasn't letting me get my Red Cross to go see her, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, y'all are, they're like, well, she's not dead. I'm like, the fuck? Like, what?
Damn.
Like, they were making it seem like it wasn't that serious of what happened to her. I'm like, yo, I'm her only son.
Right.
Like, this is my mom.
Yeah. Can you explain like what the Red Cross is? Like what
the Red Cross alert is like, say you're over you're in California and something happens to your family in South Carolina or somewhere, and they really can't get to you or whatever, or you need to get there like immediately, right. Like immediate leave, because normally it's like regular job, PTO, like you gotta put it in 2 weeks before, and you gotta like jump through all these hoops. You gotta, where you going with, right. And all that shit. But with the Red Cross, it's like, yo, we need him now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my aunt did that. She was like, yo, she has a son who's in the Marine Corps, and they're like, do you want us to send a message? She was like, yeah. So they sent me a message, and I was like, yo, I got the alert. Like, they tell me to go. And they're like, for what?
Yeah, that's crazy. Such a fucking military story. God.
Yeah, so
I never knew that. You never told me that. Yeah,
so when I finally like got to go, I was just like on the plane, like getting severely drunk because I'm already on what's that thing? Yeah, I'm on restriction and shit right now. So I'm getting super wasted.
What's that thing?
I'm getting wasted at the airport right now. I'm taking double shots of Patron, all type, and San Diego is always, thank you for your service shots, abound. So yeah, by the time I got on the plane, I was smashed. But yeah, I just remember saying like, yo, this is stupid. I like, even if I get through this whole restriction shit, I'm not resigning. I'm out. And then what's so funny is that I came back from the emergency shit and my 10-day letter was there.
Oh, okay.
God moves. God moves. Won't he will? Won't he do it?
Okay. And so then you head out to South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I drive from California to South Carolina.
Was your mom able to recover?
My mom was able to recover.
Okay.
And she's doing well, What's up, Sasha? Matter of fact, she cussed me out today. So yeah, I would say she's doing all right.
Yeah. Oh, good. That's I like the way that story. You had us worried.
Yeah.
The mood in this room was real sour there for a second. I got to be honest.
I thought I picked it up when I said they gave me the 10-day letter. But
that was nice. Was nice.
Yeah, that was better.
Okay.
But she's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
She's fine. She has a bar. She's, all types of shit, man. My mom's the dopest.
Yeah, dude, you and I are mama's boys.
We are.
All day.
One of the things we bonded over. But yeah, like after I got done with that, I just started working on music a lot more, but I didn't know what to do in South Carolina. Back in South Carolina, California was pretty much my lifeline. I was taking Spencer to like studios and shit, and everything. So like that was really like my lifeblood, where like I knew I could get in. That was my end. Right. So like I just pretty much grinded and just chilled and back home for a minute. Got to shake hands and hey, I'm home. And I was gone for so long. Then I was like, around October, I was like, yo, I got something I need to do. Moved back to October. Started working on the album, but then out of nowhere, like my grandmother died, and Spencer knows like my grandmother Ada is like real important in my life to me, like real important to me. So that kind of put me in the tailspin to where like, how can I finish this whole album? I kind of went through just a lot of shit, and then I eventually got to finish it, but afterwards, I flew back to South Carolina because shit just wasn't really working in California. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And then we released it. And then you would think like, oh shit, we released the album. We out of here. We out of here. Like the J. Cole, interlude, but like no, because like now you gotta market and shit. And like I didn't know what I was doing at that time. I didn't know how to market. I didn't know how, what to do with an album. So it just kind of just sat there, it's just some urban legend. Yo, you heard about this shit that Naj did? Some cool shit, to pull up in front of a girl like, yo, I have an album on Spotify. Apple Music. No big deal. But after a while, the itch just kind of got back, and just working on shit. And then when you finally feel like you're ready, you just start doing it. And that's how I feel now, man. It just took some time, took some time in some different chambers to get myself ready. But, I'm good now.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what's the biggest difference between when you kind of first started out and now? Like, what are you thinking is the biggest difference? And now everyone, for those listening, Najee went from South Carolina, and you now live in Seattle, Washington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, man, like, Spence, you was there for a lot of the, the studio. I actually had, fun fact, I was doing this song. I had this idea for a song, and I did the first verse, and it came out dope, and I needed a hook, but like, I didn't want to do the hook, so I asked Spencer to do it.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that was.
And I immediately regretted that decision.
What was the hook? Wait, Spencer, do the hook.
I can't remember, dude. I don't. It wasn't good. Yeah, I sounded off.
But the thing is, my feeling is, I will stand behind this. He didn't go into it confident because he was just like, yo, I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm like, yo, you're not gonna fuck it up, man. You're gonna be all right. And he just went in there and he was just like, I feel like by the 20th take, he was finally like, yo, I think I could do this. But by the 25th take, I was like, I don't think he can do this.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, rapping was not my thing. I should have been able to, like, I should have sang something if I was going to do something. I was
I didn't know. I didn't know at that time. I just threw him out there like, yo, spit this shit.
Yeah.
He was just like, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spence was around for a lot of that stuff, man, where like I was just really just like writing, not caring. We was like throwing parties while we was recording. And, we had people's girlfriends doing interludes and stuff. Like, we was, we thought we was like doing it, man. But
dude, do you remember when you recorded an entire album and then it got deleted?
I was about to tell that story.
Tell it.
So I recorded this album called 24. And this album was like, we really like worked hard on this album. Like, it was really worked hard. Like, everything. I mixed and mastered that whole thing myself. I engineered it myself. Like, I really worked. You can expect I really worked hard working on that album. And it was a really good album. Like 12, 13 songs were really good songs. And this guy who won't be named, was lovesick, and his girl came to see him. And I guess he just let her use the computer, and she deleted my shit.
Yeah.
Deleted the whole album.
We don't, still to this day, don't know. And the dude whose laptop that it got deleted from was like trying to make Najee feel better. And he was like, hey man, did you know like Skrillex, like when Skrillex made his first album, that all
First off, he didn't tell me for a week. I was like, yo man, like I'm trying to, get the album or whatever. He's like, yeah.
No, he's like throwing you around.
Yeah, because he had moved into like married housing and everything. So he's like, yeah. I'm still trying to unpack and everything. And like Spence, I think somehow Spence had walked into finding out before I found out. And he was just like, yo, bro, like, you gotta talk to him, man. Like, you gotta go there and talk to him because he's not gonna tell you. Like, I can't tell you, but you have to go there and talk to him.
That's this isn't my story to tell.
Well,
but you should be the one to do this, and you should do it.
Basically, right. So like,
hey, just so you know, Spencer still does that to me all the time. He's like, Kevin, I think so. I can't tell you what's on. You should go talk to this administrator right now. Just go walk over there and have a conversation.
So, I think they do like some day party at his house, and I go over there, and I'm like, yo, man, like, yo, what the fuck is going on with the album, man? Like, I need to get that so I can, I'm ready to release it and everything. He's like, yo, man, remember when that story we was watching when Skrillex said about his album getting deleted off his computer? I was like, uh-huh. But that didn't happen, right?
And why are you referencing that story? Man who has my album on his laptop.
He's like, but like, if that didn't happen to Skrillex, you would have never did like this album. But that didn't happen to this album, right? And he's like, yo, bro, like, man, so-and-so had the computer and I don't know, she was trying to do something. They said it was a virus and da. So is my shit deleted, bro? He danced around for like at least 5 minutes. And like, so, yes, bro, yes, not yes. It is deleted. This whole thing is for you, by the way.
Yeah, good times. Good times.
This whole party it's deleting your mixtape party.
This isn't a release party.
Yeah, this is a whoops, we fucked up and we got plenty of beer for you party.
Yeah, I'm like, what? But hey, there's girls who are going to play football in the backyard. And we have beers.
Dude, I kind of want, what's crazy is that there is no like information or literature or anybody on the internet talking about the whole subculture in the military of people who smoked fucking spice.
I feel like we should do a documentary. I feel like we should do that.
We could have, dude. Can you give like how do you want to like portray this, dude? Because we were fucking in it, bro.
You know what? I'll say this, my man. Kevin, have you ever seen a movie called Gridlocked?
No.
Gridlocked is a very great movie with Tim Roth and Tupac. And they're like two guys in a band who are trying to go to rehab. And they're trying to get into this rehab because their lead singer just died, and like they're already like fucked up, and so they're both trying to get into rehab, and they're both trying to figure shit out. Me and Spencer with this whole thing with Spice, man. Listen, I feel like this was like was the straw, the rift, the crack in the whole family that kind of broke all our friend group up.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Yeah, it was really intense.
Spice came in at a time where like all of us were vulnerable. Dan just came back. We was just still there, and like they wanted to keep the party going from their leave. I remember like the first time I met Spencer, he just been in there for like he's still on leave. And he rocking out, and he's just like
yeah,
just drinking with Caruso.
Yeah,
who's now sober.
And a little bit more than drink with Caruso.
Yeah.
So the listeners know, like, what is spice? What are we talking about?
Spice is like this goulash recipe of herbs and spices. It's fucking. Yeah. It's the Colonel. It's the Colonel from KFC's little fucking herbs and spices with some potpourri and some shit, and maybe some lint.
And lots of lint, actually.
And and they call it spice, man. And we were just going crazy over that shit. Like I remember, like it'd be. I'll give you an example, bro. It'd be like a group of us, and it'll probably be like 6 of us in one room, maybe 2 in another room, maybe 4 in another room, and everybody just huddled, waiting, like talking shit, but look at this clock. But they just, it's like an awkward like conversation, but we all just like waiting to see what time it is. Like 9 o'clock. Yo, who's got it? You paid? Hey, yo, y'all paid? Yo, let's go. Who car driving? Where we go? Let's go right now. We are out.
Yeah, the moment we
bunch of junkies. Everybody jump to the car. We're about to go to the fucking spice store around the back. All I know that was next to something that was called Killer Pizza from Mars. That's how I knew where it was, yo. That's how I knew where it was, because it was next to a place called Killer Pizza from Mars. And I was like, that's an odd place for like a weird drugstore to be. Anyway, so we're just buying grams of spice.
Remember how much 3 grams cost, dude? Do you remember how much 3 grams would cost?
Don't even talk to me about that, man.
It was like $90.
Yeah, And then
Why would
me and
you guys did
me and
this?
Spencer though, we had picked up on this thing called rain.
It was a
Where it was like a whole bunch for less, but you shouldn't mess with that shit, man.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah,
it was bad. And like, what happened was everybody splintered into like at once. Everybody would just, we just smoke, listen to music, be drunk, play some beer pong, and that'd be the end of it. After a while, like people had their own baddies, had their own type, and it was just like, yo, you want to come over and hit this shit? Yeah, I'll come over. Yo, who you with? I'm with Josh. Yo, don't bring Josh, man, because every time you bring Josh, he smokes all of that shit, bro. Come by yourself. All right. It would be like, it turned into Survivor. And at the end of it, it was me and Spencer. Just like,
yeah. But do you go ahead, dude.
So before that, just so I can help the listener and myself. So if I'm remembering, Spice was like that synthetic type of weed.
Exactly.
And it became problematic for military servicemen because it didn't show up on a drug test. So you guys did it. Is that
that's the kicker?
Okay.
It didn't pop on a piss test.
So this is the negatives, unintentional consequences of drug testing.
Absolutely. Okay. It's also the negative consequences of being like, hey, you can smoke weed.
Before you guys,
I have a drug testing story for you.
Wait, would you guys both say that this is worse? The Spice is worse than if you were just allowed to smoke weed?
I can't even begin to describe to
you. If they would just would have let us smoke weed, we would have been so much no trouble.
Dude, okay. I can't even begin to describe to you. Like for a while, the Spice, I was like, oh, this is giving me brain damage.
Okay.
Like for sure.
Sorry to interrupt you guys.
No, that's a good question. We have.
I have a drug test story. I don't know if Spencer remembers this. Remember y'all guys' accident in the car? Y'all drove like off the side of the road or some shit?
Oh, yeah, we almost died.
Yeah.
We got drunk and drove in Camp Pendleton and wound up in a ditch.
Yeah, so then for months, these guys was living off the fat of the land. Nobody could prove shit. Nothing was going on. Like, all of a sudden, they got called into court. Mm-hmm. And I remember this shit, bro, like it was yesterday. Like, I'm like, yo, I got to see my guys, see how they doing. I just remember seeing them. I remember seeing Spencer getting dressed with one of our homeboys, putting on his Bravos, hitting the baddie.
And drinking a Corona.
Drinking a Corona, hitting the baddie. They about to get drug tested and everything. Like, yep, whatever. And I was like, that wasn't even like my first, like, we're far gone, but I was like, yo, what have we become?
Yeah.
It was. And then, like, when me and Spencer just became like at the hip, and we were just like, if we're gonna do this, we're just gonna do this together, man. And we really did. We'd be broke together. We'd luck up and find some shit together. Like, we were just like, we're not gonna let this defeat us. And when we finally did, yo, we're done. It was Spencer who did it.
Well, dude, do you remember that conversation though? We were in your barracks room, you're like, it can't be that addictive. It can't be.
Right. Because, like, we were talking about it because, once again, we're waiting on 9 o'clock. And then we were just like, yo, this is stupid. Like, it can't be like this right now. Like, we are simply waiting for 9:01, 9:02 at the most, for Navy Federal to say you have money in your account for us to spend $90 of this at a store, and we'll just be huddled in our room for hours, fucking me and him probably watching American Horror Story or playing MLB, taking hits and playing, and play. We probably were playing MLB at the time.
Yes, or Madden or whatever.
But it was just like, man, I remember when Spencer stopped, I stopped. I remember I was cleaning out my car one night, and I found this big ass bag of rain, and I called Spencer so fucking hype. He was at his people's house at the time, or whatever. Darren hadn't been born yet, but or was about to be born.
Yeah,
it was like at that time. It was about that time, and I was like, "Yo, bro, I found some rain. I'm gonna go pick up some 40s. I'll be there in 10 minutes." And he was like, "Bro, I think we're done with that."
Yeah, I was like, I'm good, dude. I can't do it.
I was like, what? Yeah, bro. I think we're done with that. I'm good. Oh, you sure? And he was like, yeah. I was like, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I remember I threw it in the garbage, and that was my last time doing it.
Damn.
I totally remember that. But that shit was a problem, bro. It was interesting what it did to us as like, it was a
we didn't talk. We like our friend group was over. Like there's certain people that we didn't talk to anymore like that. Like it was just bad.
You guys know if it's still a problem for active military?
Great question, but it became such a huge problem while we were in that they were doing random barracks checks to try to find it.
Yeah, so they're like,
they were cracking down on it, and apparently there was, right as the time that we were like kind of getting out, the military had purchased a test that would test specifically for spice.
great.
But
that's definitely the solution.
Can you explain like the high that it gives you, Najee? Do you remember?
The high that it get I remember the first time I did it, and I was like, yo, I was listening to chopped and screw music and it sounded normal. And I was like, yo, I understand this now. Like I was just like for real, I was just like, yo, I understand this now. Like, yeah.
You're like a heroin addict in the 40s or 50s listening to jazz. Like, I get it. It's giant steps. Squibbity bop. Squibbity diddly dee.
Right time. You know, but yeah, man, it was just like it's like that scene where with Leo and Jonah when they do crack for the first time. He's like, I want to run. I want to parade. You just, but it's the opposite that you just like, yo.
Yeah, it's definitely a chill vibe, but it also
like
feels like you might have huffed some paint.
Bro, like me and Spencer once we smoked like 3 grams of spice and was drinking like 2 bottles of Lambrusco watching the Adjustment Bureau. And we're like, this makes sense.
You guys are not selling it for me. I'm real happy I missed it.
No, dude, it's totally for people who feel like they can't do anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really depressing. We also, I'm not going to say I was technically into this, but a lot of Marines were also into overdosing on triple C's, like cold cough and congestion medicine.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So people would like down NyQuil and they would take cold. It's really sad. It's actually really sad.
Yeah. I remember this girl who was doing that, who stayed down the hall from me. She was like going crazy. I was like, yo.
Exactly what you were talking about.
Oh, like chugging bottles of Robitussin and stuff. Yeah.
Robo tripping.
Yeah, robo tripping.
Because that's a thing that we did. Yeah. Yeah.
They should just let us smoke weed, man.
Kinda, yeah, actually. That would have been way healthier. But I also get why they don't want that happening. But
it's just like we say about life. It's complicated.
It is complicated.
It's complicated, man. A man named Usher once said, situations will arise. You gotta be smart about it.
Dude,
that's a deep Usher cut.
Facts. Big facts, bro.
That was great.
So dude, you've been like performing a lot of live music lately, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Dude, how's that going? How's that feel? Tell me everything.
I love it, man. It's fun because I like performing with bands because like I feel like when you perform like with bands and you see this guy come out to to rap, you're like, oh shit, they got rappers too.
Yeah,
I feel like the toy at the bottom of a Cracker Jack box. You already went expecting something, then you get a surprise. You're like, oh shit. Absolutely. I have fun doing that, man. The Seattle scene is real cool. It's been real welcoming.
That's cool, dude. That makes me happy to hear that.
I actually, it was funny, man. Like I just moved here. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just, talking to people at this bar, just drinking outside. And I was playing this, and I just did a music video for one of my songs, and I was showing this dude this. And this guy from across the way was just like, yo, who's that? What's that? I was like, yo, it's me. He's like, yo, can I listen to that? So he walked over all drunk and he listened to it. He was like, yo, I got a band. You're like, yo, would you open for me? And that's how it started. I opened for his band. And then like after like, yo, you open for his band? Yo, you open for us? And then it was just now in a couple weeks, at Belltown Yacht Club where Nirvana used to practice at Condensing. I will be headlining my first show.
Dude, congratulations, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking awesome.
How's that feel? Does that feel a little unreal? Are you ready?
Yeah.
For it?
Yeah, man. I feel like I've been waiting for this, man.
Yep.
So now that it's happening, it's just like, all right, I'm just taking it one day at a time. Just taking it one day at a time. That's all I can do, I just know each step is just getting me to where I need to go. So I'm just appreciative, man. I'm just appreciative of the ride. I'm grateful for everybody who's given me a chance so far. And, I'm just putting out this music, man, just getting it out there, it's crazy to see how far it's gotten. It's over 1K streams. It's been all over from Botswana to Helsinki to Rio de Janeiro to Sao Paulo. I was just looking at it today. I was just like, yo, this is stupid, but I was just thinking, sometimes you think about like all where you come from. I just released an EP. I just got finished recording my second album. And there's this song where, my last song on this album that I'm gonna drop pretty soon. And it just every time I listen to it, I just think about everywhere where I came from, man. Like I think about those days being in my in the barracks with Spencer, pacing back and forth while I was playing the beat, like while I was writing, like, yo, does it sound good? How does it sound? Him, just watching me do verses over and over and over, pressing pause and on, having a fucking mic hooked up to a laptop, just watching me go over and over and over and over, not happy with it. We could have been doing something else, but I'm just here. I think about all of that. It's all a part of the journey, man. And that's what makes it well worth it. So right now, man, that's all what I'm doing, man. I'm just enjoying all of this shit, man. Because, for a while, there were people who were trying to say that I couldn't do this or I wouldn't do this. I've had first sergeants laugh at me. I've had, COs, like talk shit about me because of me wanting to do this, like I said, like Spencer, he has seen like all the shit, with me just wanting to be like me. I just want to chill and make music and like, and shit. Like I don't really fuck with nobody. I do my work when we're at work, and I come here and I just want to hang out with my boys, smoke cigarettes, do a little spice, and drink and record some music. But I don't fuck with nobody, and but I don't know why we want to do music in Intel. Like it was such a problem in Intel. I don't know why, but it's funny, man. But that's why I do it, man, because there's so many people who were saying I couldn't do it. So like now with the opportunity to finally really do it and to really just like, yo, push all into it, you gotta cash your chips in. You gotta push all your chips in, man, because I've been told no too much to stop now.
I'm assuming even sometimes probably yourself, right? Like even sometimes you're like, fuck, I don't know if I can do this. But bro, the creative process and the creative journey is fucking scary because you're being vulnerable, dude. You're like putting a piece of yourself out there. And I mean, obviously we're just podcasters, but sometimes like I'll be in the shower, or I'll just be like sitting in my bed and I'll be like, fuck, dude, I wouldn't like people are listening to me. Like that's scary, dude. Like there's a lot of you're kind of immortalizing yourself a little bit. Like in theory, your grandchildren and shit can listen to this. Like it's just crazy.
I was nervous, man. Like for a while, I was like, yo, maybe this rap shit ain't really what it's supposed to be. So like I try to do podcasting. I tried that for a long time, and like I was kind of getting some steam a little bit, but I was just like, wait a minute, that's not. It's cool, but it's not what I love, man.
Mhm.
Like I love this music shit, man. I just love it. I love making music for people. I just want somebody to feel seen when they hear me. Because
Yeah.
I remember plenty of times, me and Spencer have been plenty of times, where we'll hear songs just like, yo, like you just feel seen. You just like, it's the greatest thing, for those couple of seconds, for those how many minutes you're listening to, and that lasting effect. And that's all I want to. If I could give that to one person, yo, that's what it's about.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I definitely, some of my best memories, dude, are in our, early 20s and our military days, but it's also people's college days or whatever you want to call it. But just bonding with people over music is one of the best things to be a human, like, period. I absolutely adore talking to people about music, and you and I sharing songs and
Oh my goodness,
right.
that for hours just talking about like, yo, you should listen to this or yo, you should listen to that. Like, I think I feel like Spencer's like the only person like around in the 2000s at one point who was like blasting Kelly Rowland out of his Audi.
Yeah, Kelly Rowland's the one, dude.
Yo, blasting her, yo, like Kelly Rowland. He's like, yo, this is what it's about, Kelly. You know, but yeah, man, music has brought so many people together, and it brought us together, man. Just that was like the foundation. Just on top of just being a super cool guy,
Thanks,
you
dude.
know, no problem, guy. You know,
And
but
gosh,
yeah,
darn
man,
people like me.
it's not. But yo, it's not hard to like Spencer, man. It's not hard to like him.
I appreciate, dude. Is this what we're doing right now? We're putting me in the spotlight a little bit.
Listen, man, listen. Let me tell y'all about. This is it's not a bad story. It's not like embarrassing or anything. This is like how I know like Spencer is like my dog. Like this is my bro. So like we're already out of the military right now, and I'm flying somewhere. I'm working. I'm like setting up stages, and like I'm flying, and for some reason, stars aligned, and like I had a layover in San Francisco, and this guy was like, "Yo, fuck it, I'll just come get you," because I was gonna be there for like an ungodly amount of time. So he was like, "Yo, I got you. I'll come get you." So he came and got me. And we were drinking Sierra Nevadas and just talking. It was just like old times again. And I remember going to sleep and waking up because we were late for the flight. And he's like,
did get late. You missed the flight.
I missed the flight.
Yeah.
But, I forgot what we were even though we were late, and like I wasn't mad or anything, because if I was gonna be late for anything, I'd rather be late with my boy. I wish I could remember what he was playing at the time, but he was just like
Kendrick Lamar.
like, yo, yeah.
It was like one of his first albums. It wasn't.
He's like, yo, have you ever heard Section 80?
Mhm.
That was the first time I heard Section 80 while him speeding through, trying to take me through this airport. My first time hearing Section 80. So that's why, like, oh yeah, that's my boy. Because even though we're late and everything, he's still trying to like put me up on something. Like, yo, have you heard? Fuck your ethnicity, man.
Well, dude, since you're gonna talk me up, I'll tell you this: Najee, out of all my homies and family members, Najee was there the moment my daughter was born. You were in the hospital there with me, so that's like a huge deal, dude. Yeah,
I sped down there.
You were the first person to come there and be like, "She's beautiful, man. She's beautiful." So
I remember he called and he was like, "Bro, man," and I was like, "What?" Out there, it was cool because, also, man, this is one of my favorite moments because like me and Papa Schultz was in the weight room watching Maury, and I was explaining to him what ratchet meant, and and he was like, well, so not what ratchet? I'm like, yeah, man. Like, she's trying to keep the.
Funny.
This isn't real. Like, I'm trying to explain what's going on, and it's like he's so captivated what I'm saying. And Papa, yo, man, I just was like, yo, Papa Shells is so cool. And I just remember afterwards, just seeing him. I think I still got the picture on my Instagram, just Spence with the baby and everything. It was just like, yo, it was funny because like I think like a day later or so, or a couple weeks later or whatever, I sent him this song. It was when Jay had Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, this is the song for you and Darian, yo. It just every time I hear that song, I just think about the day Darian was born. Cause I was just like, it just felt like it was so much love in that room, man. Just so much love in that room. And it's just like, that's dope. And like, even when I held, I was like, cool thing, the human life, the circle of life.
And then if you remember what happened that year, the year 2012, the Giants won the fucking World Series again. Good times.
A lot of stuff happened that year.
Yes,
2011, 2012, man. That was
crazy times.
Those were crazy times, those 2 years, man.
Yeah, man. So
like a fever dream.
Yeah, for sure. So before we let you go, bro, why don't you tell us what's next for you? Where can we find you, and where can we see you? And I think it'd be cool. Are we legally allowed to put one of your songs at the end of the podcast? Can we do that?
Yeah, man.
What song you want us to put?
Dealer's choice. You do what you want, man.
Okay.
Sausalito. All right.
It is. But tell us what's next for you, bro.
So I just released exactly how we planned. So I'm coasting off of that. I'm having fun with that, being out. I think after this, I'm thinking about doing another video. I kind of want to do a video for Sausalito. I don't know yet. It might be a video coming up soon, so don't hold me to it, but that's what I'm thinking about. But I have my first headline show at Belltown Yacht Club on September 21st. It'll be me and a couple people, a couple bands, a couple rappers performing. I think it's the perfect mix of, punk and rap and loud sounds.
Love it.
So I got that going. And then on the 23rd, I'm going to be a part of the Cypher for the Black and Loud Festival in Seattle that Jake Daniels is sponsoring and everything. That's going to be at the Crocodile. And that's going to be crazy. Bands like Beverly Crusher, King Youngblood, the OBGMs, down north. Bunch of crazy stuff going on with that. Then after that, I'm just going to be chilling for a minute. And then in December, I'm trying to do a show in December right now that's got me really stressed out because I'm trying to find a fourth band. So I'm kind of stressed out about that. So we'll see. But around that time, I'll probably be starting the rollout for the album coming out. And the album is called Don't Fuck This Up.
Don't Fuck This Up.
Great title.
But for the people, the parents in Walmart and stuff, man, we're going to show it, it's going to be a DFTU, but that's basically what it means, don't fuck this up. It's just basically about, second chances, man, and finding opportunities when you can, just don't fuck it up, man. Just go head first into it. This is my baby. It's a very good album, man. I'm very proud of it. I'm really proud of, exactly how he planned because honestly, those songs were supposed to be on that album, but it just didn't fit the storyline. So, I mean, they're not like bad songs, they're not throwaways. They just didn't fit the storyline for what we wanted with the album. So and I didn't want them to sit on the shelf for too long. So I wanted to give it to the people. I might release some more stuff before we start to roll out, but yeah, I'm just gonna be working on stuff, man, performing and getting in wherever I can get in, man. That's the motto, man. I'm never satisfied.
Good, dude. I hear that. We we understand how you feel because we're in the long game here with podcasting. So like obviously everything that we do here is completely out of love because we don't fucking make shit, obviously. So this is genuinely out of love, dude. And so we definitely like, game respects game, dude. We appreciate you and what you're doing for the creative world and for people to listen to, dude. And live music is one of my favorite things on the planet, dude. I go to a concert like on average once a month. So I absolutely promise you that I will make my way up there and see you at some point.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, listen, I was telling somebody it's a different vibe to where like you're doing like an all rap show and when you're doing like with bands. It's a different vibe, man.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like and for me, I just feel like you just gotta bring it because this is your, especially as somebody new, because this is your first impression for a lot of people. And if you don't bring it, man, they're not gonna fuck with you. In Seattle, what I've noticed from the fans, like they know when they hear it. They know when they hear like, yeah, we fucking with this, or no, like, we'll let it finish, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've just been blessed, for people to been fucking with me, to people, want to keep me, on shows and stuff like that. Yeah, it's to the point where I've been telling people, I was like, yo, don't put me on no rap shows. No rap shows. Just
that's cool. Dude, that makes me happy to hear that that's what the scene is like up there. That's cool. I like it.
Yeah, but it's kind of I feel like in Seattle, it's not really like a lot of people performing in downtown other than the bands. So in order for like a lot of rappers, I see like you gotta go to Tacoma or maybe like Portland and stuff. But so like this is me like from bands giving me a chance to be on with them. This is kind of like a new thing that's going on where rappers is kind of joining forces with bands and putting on shows.
I think it's art. I think it's cool. I think that's a good thing. I think that's good for music. I think it's good for both of the genres. I think it's good for the artists. I like it. That makes me happy.
Yeah, man. I tried, I think me and you talked about this, reading Rick Rubin's new book.
I'm getting it from the library, dude. I'm on a Rick Rubin little phase right now. I like it, dude.
Like this book, man. Oh man, I love it. It's a great book. And also like even for y'all to read, I know like when Absolutely. I say it, I would say this book for y'all to read, y'all might be like for real, but like when you read it, you'll understand it. 50 Cent's a Hustle Smarter book, yo. Like you really, yeah. I've really gotten like a lot of gems that's helped me like,
cool.
In the creative world and just with just how you handle your business with stuff. Like, like I take my publishing like real seriously. I'm just learning about that, and he teaches you certain things about business. You learn things in that book, man. Yeah, it's Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, something like that.
Cool.
Great book, man, from 50.
Check that out. I'll definitely check that out.
But yeah, man, I'm just trying to do my thing, man. I'm just trying to do something different. And so like me performing with, with these punk bands, with these loud sound bands, man. Like I said, I'm just trying to be the goodie, the toy at the bottom of the bag, man. I'm not trying to be nothing else. I'm just trying to be me.
Absolutely. For sure, dude. Well, we are going to put all of the links to your shit in our bio, dude. All of like your album, your social media, your MySpace, your Friendster, all
iCupid.
All that shit, dude. Again, dude, from the bottom of my heart, dude, I'm so glad that you came on the show and just spoke to us. You were obviously...
Listen, people, to the audience of Battle Buddy, y'all don't know how much I had to fight to get on this show. I had to fight Spencer's wife.
I had to talk to my publicist for weeks.
I was on the bottom of his voicemail for 8 months. So when he finally picked up, he was like, yo, I'll give you this slot. And then he's like, oh no, my wife, she really wants to do this. And you know what? I had deja vu from when they told me about 24 deleting.
Oh shit. Like that.
Yeah, I would have respected it better if he was like, hey man, remember when Skrillex had the interview?
Damn, bro. Well, I'm sorry, bro. Thanks for making me feel bad.
No, man. No, I just wanted people to see the struggle, See how hard it is to get on Battle Buddies, yo.
Thanks for the plug. All right, man. Well, we have a little we have a tradition here at Battle Buddies that our sign off. We say together bonsai. It's just our little tradition. So, do you have a shot or anything like that you want to do, or do you want to take a hit of your?
I'm just gonna say this. I know y'all talk about famous battles and stuff. I would like y'all to either talk about the LAPD versus black people, or
hey, we're way ahead of you on
dude,
that.
It's funny that you bring that up because we're talking about it. That's actually
or Twin Pro against the Black Panthers. Like
that one's. There's a lot of research on that.
Dude, would you be down for if we covered one of those things that you come on the show and kind of like
Fuck yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
You know me, but yo man, to quote one of my favorite movies, man, the 25th hour, real pain for my sham friends and champagne for my real friends, man.
All right, bro. Well, thank you for joining us, and listeners, we appreciate you for listening. And until next time, bonsai.
I love that, Mike.
And I say, listen to my heartbeat, and that's the rhythm of the shells hitting concrete. Everybody know what's up, but they ain't see. They say the boy too ice cold, he got a hot seat. I know, I ain't got too far to go. I show how much a nigga grow. Listen to my heartbeat. They playing games in the streets and they play for keeps. Seen enough, they ain't acting right. Guns and roses, destruction is the appetite. It's so easy, they think they out to get me. Welcome to the jungle, this ain't Paradise City. My rhymes are smooth and silk, but it cuts like a razor. I'm a hell raiser, they enticed by the flavor. I grew from concrete, I made it from the bottom. Now I'm in studios writing beats like a slalom. There can't be many days like this. I'm supposed to be on speedboats with bottles of Chris. I showed how I was inspired by actual events. I prayed to a higher power to repent for my sins. I had to leave home to find a piece of me, but I still hear smoke going inside my friend's Caprice. Every day it's the same old shit, but I take it here in the herb and I handle my biz. Listen to my heartbeat, and match the rhythm of the shells hitting concrete. Everybody know what's up, but they ain't see. They say the boy too ice cold, they got a hot seat. I know, I ain't got too far to go. I show how much a nigga grow. Listen to my heartbeat. They playing games in the streets and they play for keeps.
Now this the way it's supposed to go. Them late nights I was posted low, knowing I was supposed to blow. Posting posters at the corner store. CDs, shirts, and weed, whatever, get the dough, you know. Nigga act like you ain't supposed to grow. All seas bear fruit, tell me how you let your ocean flow. I take a loss and I'ma go some more. I see the lessons, not the failures, that's how I set a different course. I taking flights, getting to this dough now. Climbing at a fast pace, I don't plan to slow down. Miss me with that 360, I ain't merry go round. Only about that 180, changes in my soul now. I had to go within to find a piece of me. I knew it really wasn't working with the Jesus piece. Every day it's the same old shit. A few blunts of gas, I handle my biz and don't quit.
Listen to my heartbeat, and match the rhythm of the shells hitting concrete. Everybody know what's up, but they ain't see. They say the boy too ice cold, they got a hot seat. I know, I ain't got too far to go. I show how